Hey guys, this is Elias with the WPL import team, and in this video we're gonna export JetEngine custom fields to Google Sheets using Zapier and WPL export. Now guys, to get started we need to run an export first, right? So once we do that, we're gonna go here to Zapier and create an automation to upload all of our data to Google Sheets, and I have a Google Sheets file ready here. So without further ado, let's just begin. We have this properties post type, so let's select that from here, right? And you can see that WPL export says we have 103 properties to be exported. Now you can confirm that real quick right here, 103 and 103 here too. So this is good. Now guys, say you don't want to maybe export all 103 properties, right? Because I don't know, maybe some of these properties are already sold or whatever. So maybe you only want to export those properties that you're sure that are on the market, that are available for business, right? So what we can do here is use one of the WPL export features, which is the ability to filter out some properties or some records based on a criteria you want, right? So let's open the add filtering options section, and here we have mainly three fields we want to set, right? So the first one is element, and I'm gonna look for availability here because this is a field I have created with JetEngine, and I know this element has the data I need. So I'm gonna go here to the rule element, and I'm gonna select equals. Now on the value element, I'm gonna say on market, right? So this kind of depends on whatever you have in your site, guys. So maybe in your case it's different, right? So if that's the case, just select the right one for you, apply whatever rule works for you, and use the value that will make this work, right? Now, if you have some questions about how this works, we have other great videos about filtering with XPath in WPL export, so you can check those out in our website or in our YouTube channel. Now, if you have even more questions after that, you can always contact our support team and we will be more than happy to help you out. For now, you will notice that we no longer have 103 properties to be exported. Now we have 74. And those 74 properties are those properties that are on the market, right? So that was pretty easy. If you have some questions, you know what to do. Now let's click on the Customize Export File button. And here is our export template. So if you preview, you will see the data we're going to export, right? And here we have the ID, the title, and the content. So these are the same three elements we have here. So if you don't want the ID, you can just drag that off. If you don't want the content, just do the same, and so on and so forth, right? You get the idea. So if I hit preview again, you will notice that the ID is no longer here. Now you will find the JetEngine fields right here in this right panel. So let's just move on with that. Open the JetEngine section, and here you go. Here we have all of the JetEngine fields you created for your post type. So let's start dragging and dropping some stuff here, like the map address, and hit preview. And there you go, guys. We have here our map address element, and as you drag and drop some other elements, you can hit preview and see the data showing up in real time, right? So let's add the date first listed, the availability, listing type, price, amenities, square feet, and bathroom and bedrooms. And let's just pause a little bit here and hit preview to see how is this looking. Now you can see that all of the data is coming into shape here, so this is good. And we can do some crazy stuff here if we wanted. Maybe we want to change the date format, or I don't know, perhaps we want to change something here from this list of elements, right? So let's do a couple of things here, right? The first one is change the date format to something, I don't know, maybe more readable, right? So I'm going to click on my date first listed element, and here you will see we have some other options. So you can change this to Unix timestamp or use PHP natural language which is what we're going to use. And for the time format, I'm going to say D, comma, F, J, and Y. Now I'm going to save, preview again, and here is our new date first listed format, right? So this is looking better. And I don't know, maybe we want to change this delimiter next, right? Because maybe a list of amenities separated with pipes, it's not looking that much readable. Maybe we want to change this by a comma and maybe separate it a little bit so it's more easy to read. So let's dismiss this, click on the amenities field, and we will use a quick PHP function for this. So I'm gonna click on the function editor and I'm gonna type in here my function, right? I'm gonna call this function replace pipes, right? And I'm gonna say here data, right? Open my curly brackets, and I'm gonna return str replace, and here I'm gonna look for the pipes, and I'm gonna replace them with a comma and a space. So this is gonna be run on the data element. So I'm gonna close this up, right? And save my function, copy the name of my function right here, and enable this option that says export the value returned by a PHP function, paste the name of my function here, right? And this is gonna be run on this element, which is the amenities, right? So I'm gonna save this, preview again, and there you go. We have changed our pipes with a comma and a space, and this looks a lot nicer, right, guys? So this is just a few of the things you can do here in WPL Export to manipulate your data however you see fit, right, guys? WPL Export will allow you to do all sorts of crazy stuff, especially if you know a little bit of PHP. And if you don't, you can always go to our website at wplimport.com, and we have a bunch of snippets here in the developer section, right, code snippets, that you can maybe copy and modify it and use to your advantage on manipulating your data. Now guys, I'm gonna dismiss this and continue adding the rest of the fields. We'll go with bedrooms, so the next one is rooms, then gallery, floor plan, agent name, phone, email, and lastly link for more details. Now let's preview again, right? And you can see that we have here all of our data. Now guys, this rooms element, right, you can see here we have rooms name, rooms measurement, and rooms description. Now the reason for that is let's just open this one so you can see how this actually looks. All right, here it is. Here we have our rooms field, and as you can see, this rooms field is a JetEngine repeater field. So this repeater field has three sub-elements. It has the name element, it has the measurement element, and the description. So in WPL Export, they're going to be shown in as many columns as fields there are. And the values are going to be separated with pipes too, right? So you can see here the entrance hallway, which is the first element in the repeater, and this is the first measurement in the repeater, the first description in the repeater, and the second one is this WC, the third one is living room, dining room, and so on and so forth, right? So if you wanted to maybe export this in a more orderly fashion, you can click on the repeater element and you will find these options there. Now you can enable this one that says display each repeater row in its own CSV line. And we have other option, but let's just not enable that just yet. Let's hit save, preview again, and here is our entrance hallway again. But oops, where are the other rooms, right? Well, they are down here, and each one of them are separated in its own CSV row. The issue with this is that you can see that we don't have any data filling up here for the rest of the fields. Now, if this is how you need your data, just be my guest and do it like this, right? But if you do want the other data populating the other fields, you can go back here to your JetEngine repeater field and enable this option that says fill in empty columns. Now, if enabled, each repeater row will appear as its own CSV line with all of the post info filled in for every column. Now, let's save this so you can see how this looks. Alright, so we have here our entrance hallway and our WC and all of the other rooms, but you can see that all of the other data is here, right? So this is going to repeat for as many rooms that there are. Now, this is pretty cool, so I'm going to leave it like that. And, well, there you have it, guys. This is pretty much everything we need to do in this video. The only couple of things left to do are, I don't know, maybe if you want to change the export format for the gallery, because right now it exports media URLs, but you can change that to the media IDs or maybe the file names, or maybe we can change the column names. For example, say you don't want this column to be called title, right? Maybe you want this to be called, I don't know, property name or something like that. So just type that in, save, and let's change this to description too, so it looks nicer and make more sense also. Preview, and there you go. We have changed our column names, so this is looking good. You can also maybe change the order of these columns, put the gallery here at the beginning of the file, preview again, and there it is, right? So guys, there is a lot of things you can do here. And again, we have other great videos where we dive a lot more into details about all of that, on how to run PHP functions and how to do X or Y. So be sure to check out the other videos in our channel, right? Now let's click on the continue button. And here we have some advanced options for WPL export. The first one is the scheduling options, and this is pretty neat because it will allow you to maybe run this export on a schedule, right? So WPL export, generally speaking, it makes very simple all of this process, but maybe you don't want to do that manually, right? Maybe you want to run this every single day or every week, or maybe at the beginning of the month, right? And you don't want to do it manually because, I don't know, because of reasons. Well, you can do that with WPL export in one of two ways. The first one is the automatic scheduling service, which is a paid service, guys. And the neat part about this is that it will allow you to set this up right here in the WordPress admin panel, right? So if you want this to run every single day, just select all of these days, select the times you want to run this on, and you can even set multiple times. So you want to run this at 12 a.m. and at 6 p.m., right? And with this, WPL export will run on this schedule, right? Pretty easy. Now, you don't need to subscribe to this if you don't want to, right? You can use cron jobs, which is this manual scheduling option. And cron jobs are free, but they are a little bit more technical. So you may want to read our docs on that. And if you have some questions, same as before, just contact our support team and we will be more than happy to help you out. Now, these other settings, let me just close this up. And these other settings are pretty much self-explanatory, so if you read them, you will know what they do. But if you have some questions even after that, you can just hover on the question mark, and it will give you a brief description of what that option does, right? Now, guys, I'm going to save and run this. Now, let's just wait a few seconds while this runs. And there you go. Now, guys, since we have the export we're going to use to get this data through Zapier to Google Sheets, right? Let's just go here to Zapier and hit on the create button. Now we're gonna create a new SAP. Now this SAP, it's gonna require a trigger and an action. So let's click on the trigger button and find WP All Export, right? So here it is. Now for the event, I'm gonna choose new export file and click continue, and we need to connect with WP All Export Pro. Now we need to sign in, and it will ask for an API key, which is right here under All Export settings, and here is our API key. So let's go back to Zapier, click on the sign in button. It will prompt us with this window. right? So let's copy our API key, paste that here, and copy our site's URL, paste that right here, and click on the Yes, Continue to WPL Export button. All right, so let's go back to Zapier, and there you go. Let's click Continue, and this is gonna test our integration. So let's click on that button, and it should be fairly quick. And there you go. Zapier has found this data, which is looking good. Here just says the website URL and the file type, the post type, the export file, and all of the other data. Right. So let's continue with the selected record. And here for the action, we're gonna use Google Drive. And for the event, we're gonna use replace file, which is here. Now let's hit continue. Let's connect Zapier with Google Drive because it needs to authorize that. So let's do that. Allow. And there you go. Let's click continue. And let's select the drive we're going to use, which is this one. For the folder, if you have some custom folders, well, you will find them here. In my case, that's not required. For the file to replace, I'm going to select this one right here, JetEngine Export. Now, here in this file, which is coming from WPL Export, I'm going to choose Export File. And convert to document, I'm going to set this to true. And for the file name, you can use whatever works for you, right? But I want to keep the same name. So I'm going to type in here, JetEngine Export. Cool. Now this is done, so I'm going to click continue and run a test to make sure this is working. All right, these two check marks mean that Zapier is able to test all of this and it's working good. So let's publish this. And this should be fairly quick. And there you go, right? Now guys, let's go back here to WPL Export, click on Manage Exports, and run this export again. Let's confirm and run this. All right, so now you will see how this tab it's gonna reload in just a few seconds, right? And this means that WPL Export has sent all of our data through Zapier to this Google Sheets file. So there you have it, guys. It's that easy to export JetEngine custom fields to Google Sheets using Zapier and WPL Export. Now guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. And if you want to know more about how to import or export other JetEngine fields to different kinds of files like XML, maybe CSV or whatever, or if maybe you're not using JetEngine but ACF or Metabox, you can do that too. Just be sure to check out the other videos in our channel or go to our website at wplimport.com. For now, thank you for watching and see you next time.